Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is Deuteronomy chapter 27, verses 1 through 3. And Moshe with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, Keep all the commandments which I command you this day. And it shall be on the day when you shall pass over Jordan unto the land which Yahweh your Elohim giveth you, that you shall set you up great stones and plaster them with plaster. And you shall write upon them all the words of this law, when you are passed over, that you mayest go in unto the land which Yahweh your Elohim giveth you, a land that floweth with milk and honey, as Yahweh Elohim of your fathers have promised you.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, going down to the river of Jordan. Down to the river of
Jordan. I'm going down to the river of Jordan one of these days. I'm going down to the river of Jordan. Going down to the river of Jordan one of these days.
Oh, I'm going down to the river of
Jordan. I'm going down to the river of Jordan one of these days. I'm going down to the river of Jordan. Going down to the river of Jordan one of these days.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Saved a wretch just like
I
me.
once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, I'm gonna sit at the welcome
Table. I'm gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. I'm gonna sit at the welcome table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days.
Through many dangerous toils and snares, I have already come. Was grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Oh, I'm gonna feast on milk and
Honey. I'm gonna feast on milk and honey one of these days. I'm gonna feast on milk and honey. Gonna feast on milk and honey one of these days.
When we've been there 1,000 years, bright shining as the sun.
Bright and shiny as the
We've
sun.
no less days to sing Yah's praise than when we first begun. Oh, I'm going down to the river of
Jordan. I'm going down to the river of Jordan one of these days. I'm going down to the river of Jordan. Going down to the river of Jordan one of these days.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Saved a wretch just
I
like me.
once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, I'm gonna sit at the welcome
Table. I'm gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. I'm gonna sit at the welcome table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days.
Through many dangerous toils and snares, I have already come. Was grace that brought me safe thus far, and gonna feast on milk and
honey. I'm gonna feast on milk and honey one of these days. I'm gonna feast on milk and honey. Gonna feast on milk and honey one of these days.
when we've been there 1,000 years, bright shining as the sun.
Bright and shining as the
There's
sun.
days to sing Yah's praise. Then when we've earth begun, oh, I'm going down to the river of
Jordan. I'm going down to the river of Jordan one of these days. I'm going down to the river of Jordan. Going down to the river of Jordan one of these days.
Oh, I'm going down to the river of
Jordan. I'm going down to the river of Jordan one of these days. I'm going down to the river of Jordan. Going down to the river of Jordan one of these days.
The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby ye are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness, or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as become saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom.
which is peace on the Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in this body of Yahshua. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who then, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind, which, when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Today's sermon is entitled Discerning the Lost Sheep from the Found Goats. The first thing we have to understand is the demeanor differences between sheep and goats. Sheep cannot hear that well, they can't see that well, so they operate by their listening. And when they recognize what they hear, they will then follow if they hear a familiar voice. So they won't just follow anybody. But if that voice is something that they recognize, they are able to move accordingly. A lot of times when people don't follow instructions, we'll say things like, you don't listen. Goats hear very well. They just don't follow directions. The goat's problem wasn't that it didn't hear you. The goat didn't give a damn about what you were talking about. The goat hears exceptionally well. It does not follow instruction well. Sheep have a tendency to gather together with like-minded individuals. When you look at the demeanor of a goat, you may come outside and the goat is on top of the shed in the back. You may look and the goat down the street. You look and the goat is all in the neighbor's trash. The goat just does what the goat wants to do. Some of the most difficult things that we're going to have in this walk is discerning between lost sheep and found goats. The goat is not in a situation of lack of understanding. It just does not like to follow anything but itself. We're going to begin at Matthew chapter 25. So there's a reason when we look and there are images of great evil, you notice that you always find the goat there. And what's interesting is you would turn on the television and all of a sudden there's the great debate about who's the goat. Come on. So now we have likened that everybody wants to say, I'm the goat. No, I'm the goat. So now they done changed the goat to the greatest of all time. Boy, Lucifer so slick. So now everybody's arguing about who is the goat. So now it is perceived that the greater you are, the closer you are to the goat. So now people want to be the goat. So they want to be associated with unruliness, being unjust, and doing whatever that is that you want to do. So the adversary is very, very cunning when it comes down to doing what he wants to do. Matthew chapter 25, and we're going to start that at verse 31.
When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left.
The sheep are not perfect, but the sheep try to follow. The sheep listen. They recognize what they are hearing, and they operate accordingly. The goats have decided that they are just not going to follow. And you may encounter in this life some of the most educated goats you've ever seen in your life. They can tell you about the word, they can tell you about the Sabbath, but every time you look up, they ain't never there. Every time it's something that needs to be done, if they are there, they're trying to pull somebody away from doing the job. The goat didn't lack understanding. Go ahead.
Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, you blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an hungered, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Adonai, when saw we you an hungered, and fed you, or thirsty, and gave you drink?
Now, the interesting part is they don't even understand where they have done this. They have been told that you have done these things, and it was accounted as righteousness unto you. They say, wait a minute. When have I done this to you? So one of the key ingredients to being set either on the left hand or the right hand is, how are you treating the other sheep? See, we kind of get that tunnel vision that we're going to deal with Yahweh, right? And we're going to deal with Yahshua. And we get that tunnel vision, and as long as we deal with Yahweh and Yahshua, it don't matter what we do outside that tunnel. But I don't think we understand what it is that we're reading. See, when we focus on the tunnel, you can focus on that tunnel so much that you are all about Yahweh and Yahshua. But then you mistreat everybody outside that tunnel of your vision. You're going to be set on a different hand than what you think you're going to be set at. Go ahead.
You know, Elder, it's interesting. He said, I was a stranger.
Uh-huh.
And you took me in. So for all them looking for the fringes and trying to treat people differently,
there you go.
You already going to fall short.
Right. People look at you, if they don't see your fringes, they have fringe check. You know, I was going to say shalom, but I didn't see no fringes. Go ahead.
When saw we you a stranger and took you in, or naked and clothed you? Or when saw we you sick, or in prison, and came unto you? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, insomuch as you have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, you have done it unto me.
So what you have done to one of the least of these my brethren, you have done it unto me. Right. Now pause and see how we have treated one another. So when you did some slick deception to try to get some information out your neighbor, you did that to Yahshua. When you lied, when you did this, when you did that, when you was disrespect, you did all that to Yahshua. And see, our problem is we don't understand, we don't see Yahweh and Yahshua in each of us. So we believe it's okay to mistreat one another. See, everybody can treat their manager at the job good. See, the measure of a man is not how you treat the people you think you need. The measure of a man is how do you treat the people you think you don't need. So what is Yahweh going to do? He is going to present himself to you in a form that you don't need. You can treat me nice all you want to. I'm sitting in this chair. All right. He ain't going to judge about it. No. When you see the person that comes in and they don't have that much money, they clothes not right, such and such, he going to look at, well, let me see how you talk to them. Oh, you was real respectful when you talked to the guy that sat up front. But you spoke to that other guy a little different. Go ahead.
Verse 41. Then shall he say unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels.
Wait a minute. Then he shall say unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. Wait a minute. These people going to the same place where the adversary of the devil going. Go ahead.
For I was an hungered, and you gave me no meat.
Wait a minute. So now, understand now, you may have some people who have, he's not going in there as, for I came in to keep the Sabbath and you wasn't there. That's not what I'm reading. We don't understand that a way of life follows you into the rest of your life. So as you spend time with the word, eventually the word starts following you where you go, meaning the mindset. So as you start dealing with the things of the world, it's going to follow you out in the world. You may come and read and do some things on the Sabbath day, but then by Tuesday, all the word done seeped out the other side, and you back to being a hellion. So you got to keep going long enough to have enough oil left in your lamp to make it to the next Sabbath. You ain't got to have but 7 days worth of oil. See, now, whenever somebody tell me I need 50 days worth of oil, they tell me, no, you plan on missing some Sabbath. I don't need that much oil. I need enough to make it to the next Sabbath, because that's where my gas station is. So I know where my gas station is. All I need to do, I'm looking at my oil. I'm looking at it's Thursday. It's Thursday. Okay, I probably shouldn't go out tonight because I'm looking at my oil. Now if I turn around, this, you know what? No, we're gonna stay in. We're gonna stay in. Why are we gonna stay in? Because I looked at my oil level. You understand? When I look, the last thing you want to do is be somewhere way the hell out, and your oil like, come on, bang, damn. I'm way away from the house. Hey, you need to have you a spiritual oil light. When that oil light come on, you know what? Now, you know what, baby, I know what we had planned. And, I got a nice outfit, too, for the night. But look here, I looked at my oil level, and it don't look good. It don't look good. I tell you what, why don't we just cuddle tonight? Why don't we just cuddle? Yeah, why don't we just cuddle? I think this is a good, this a cuddle night. Because my oil ain't, I want us to leave together and come back together. But this oil level say only one of us coming back. That's what this oil level say. Go ahead, Brady.
Hey, you know these Teslas will tell you, right? If you continue to drive at this speed, you ain't gonna reach your destination. But if you slow down to this, you have enough reserve to make it.
We need one of those. I need a watch with that. You will not make it home. All right, you know what? But when they come out with that, I'm telling you, I'm fast. I'm first in line. Go ahead, bro.
I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. Verse 43. I was a stranger, and you took me not in. Naked, and you clothed me not. Sick, and in prison, and you visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Adonai, when saw we a hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto you?
Now, the common denominator here, whether it's sheep or goats, whether it's intelligence or not intelligence, whether it's following or not following, none of them recognize when Yeshua is in the midst. I don't care how smart you are. You can look all day and still can't see. His own people, when he returned, they weren't able to discern it was him. They heard some word. Wait a minute. What did he just say? By that time, the blink, he gone. They talking to him and don't know who he talking. You think that you gonna be so slick that you can be nasty all week. But I tell you what, you just wait till the Spirit come. I'm gonna be so sweet.
Ooh, I'm gonna be so sweet. I tell you, I'm gonna need an insulin shot. I'm gonna be so sweet. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get sweet. I'm gonna get sweet diabetes. That's what I mean. All right. Now, as it is written, he shall come in a time when you think not. See, the last thing we think about is Yahweh and Yahshua when we didn't let somebody talk us to come in behind the Valero. We ain't thinking about Yahweh and Yahshua. That's not on our mind. See, we want to think about Yahweh and Yahshua in good times. See? But you have to learn to let that come in your mind right when you bust that curve right there by the Valero. You say, you know what? Wait a minute. Where is Yahweh? Because he know the coordinates. He know where it's at. Go ahead.
Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as you did it not to one of the least of these, you did it not to me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal.
Right. So one of the things that we have to understand, everybody gonna live forever. Mm-hmm. The question is, where are you going to live forever at? I mean, we on the short end of the scale. Understand, in the beginning of this book, people are living 900 years. But as a grace unto man, Yahweh cut down that lifespan so that man don't have so many sins that he has to answer for. Let's go to Yohanan chapter 10. John chapter 10. And we're going to read verses 1 through 32.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that enters not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbs up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber.
Right. What you'll find is sometimes people are trying to get into your heart, but they don't come through the front door. They don't want to be friendly with you in front of everybody else. They want to make a little slick connection with you over here. Now they saw everybody talking to you in the open forum. They didn't talk to you in the open forum. They waited until you were separated. Hey, come here, let me talk to you for a second. Now it was 12 of us talking over there. Why wouldn't you talk in front of the 12? Why you don't want to talk when the 12 was there? Go ahead.
But he that enters in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep.
Mm-hmm.
To him the porter opens, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. And when he puts forth his own sheep, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice.
The sheep follow him, for they know his voice. He goes before them, accepting any danger that comes to him, because it has to come to him before it gets to the sheep. See, that's how the shepherd operates. Go ahead.
And a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers.
So what has to happen? How does a sheep get lost then? If sheep recognize the voice of the shepherd, and they will not follow anything but the voice of the shepherd, how can they be lost sheep? Okay. Now the goats have to mimic the voice of the shepherd. To lead the sheep off, because they recognize the voice. In other words, they recognize the word. So a goat then has to speak this word and make it sound like the shepherd's voice. Go ahead.
Hey, you ever listen to the goat? He says, nah, he's always on the know. I ain't doing that.
Hey, brother, we don't, when you watch Sanford and Son, that damn goat was everywhere, wasn't it?
Yep.
Every time you turn around, that goat was somewhere else. He like, man, get your goat out and down here. Right. But what do we want to do? I want to be a free spirit. I want to go here, there, and yonder. Right. That's your inner goat. I want to travel the world. Right. That what you think that goat, how you think that goat end up on top of the neighbor's shed? That's the same thing he said. I want to see the world. But yet I want to see Sharon's shed over there. To him, that's the world. What? Okay, go ahead.
Verse 6. This parable spake Yahshua unto them, but they understood not what things they were which he spake unto them. Then said Yahshua unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them.
Right. See, the thieves and robbers want the acceptance that the shepherd has, but the shepherd has worked for that acceptance. They want to be admired by the sheep without doing shepherd work. So they want to steal the hearts of the sheep, but without caring for the sheep. So they got to make the sheep believe that they care. Go ahead.
I am the door. By me, if any man enters in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture.
Right. If you find somebody, you come and they're supposed to be a friend of yours, you come and they right at your back window. Bro, what you doing back here? I was coming to see you. You was coming to see me at my back window? You didn't see my front door? But you saw my back window. Okay. Go ahead.
The thief comes not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep.
Right. See, the good shepherd's going to put himself in jeopardy, not knowing how he's going to be redeemed. The good shepherd is going to put himself where he might possibly take loss, not knowing if or when it will be rectified. That goat hireling ain't going to act like that. Soon as it causes the hireling a problem, he out. Go ahead.
But he that is an hireling, and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, sees the wolf coming, and leaves the sheep and flees. And the wolf catches them and scatters the sheep.
Right. And it's funny because the hireling will constantly talk about a situation where what if this happens? What if this happens? As if they preparing you for the wolf, and they the first person to run when they heard a howl. They didn't even see the wolf. They heard the wolf and was out. But somehow they got to still make you think they care. Go ahead.
The hireling flees because he's an hireling and cares not for the sheep. I am the good shepherd and know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Father knows me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring.
Right. This is why we can't say, well, you know what? If you don't gather with us, you ain't gathering true. Wait a minute. The shepherd got other sheep that are not of this fold. I hope you don't think these only sheep he got. Go ahead.
And they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
See, he knows that he has to have one fold and one shepherd. You got to have a real protected situation. See, part of the way Yahweh protects us is to make sure that he has those individuals and those shepherds separated, so that the adversary, the goat, don't get to come in, drop one thing, and kill all his sheep. Go ahead.
Therefore does my Father love me, because I lay down my life that I might take it again. No man takes it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father.
So then you have great love for the sheep. The shepherd will put his own life in danger to deliver the sheep. Go ahead.
There was a division therefore again amongst the Yehudims for these sayings. And many of them said, He has a devil and is mad. Why hear you him? Others said, These are not the words of him that has a devil. Can a devil open the eyes of the blind?
So you have sheep and goats having a conversation right here. There was a division, therefore, again amongst the Yehudim. Now, understand now, you got Jew sheep and Jew goats. See, a lot of times we like to say, well, you know, the goats are those Gentiles over there, and then we the sheep. Nah. I see a few goats among you too. I see some hairy goats. I see some goats with kufis. I see some goats with head wraps. No. So you have a conversation here. There was a division, therefore, among the Jews for these sayings. And among many of them, they said, he has a devil and is mad. Why hear you him? Others said, these are not the words of him that has a devil. Can a devil open the eyes of the blind? So the sheep are having a conversation with the goats. One sees one thing and another sees something altogether different. One sees the love that the shepherd has for the sheep. The other one says, oh man, this brother trying to magnify himself. Okay. Go ahead.
You know, he says, my sheep hear my voice, right?
Uh-huh.
What the goat say? Why hear you him?
Uh-huh.
Why are you listening to that boy?
Why are you listening to him? And then the goats are always trying to pull himself. Listen to me. Why hear you him? All right, well, if we don't hear him, who we going to hear? Listen to me. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication, and it was winter. And Yahshua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Then came the Yehudims round about him, and said unto him, how long did you make us to doubt? If you be the anointed one, tell us plainly. Yahshua answered them, I told you, and you believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. Mm-hmm. But you believe not, because you are not of my sheep, as I said unto you.
So then they won't say it more plainly. Say it again. Say it loud and proud. Tell us who you is, bro. Who you? I told you, you don't believe me. You don't believe me, believe the work's sake. But they angry at his works. And what normally makes people angry at the works is they realize that they can't do it themselves. And the whole part, if people can't stop, or increase themselves, because they want to keep up. The goats want to keep up with the sheep. So they realize that they don't have it in them to work harder. So their objective then is to stop you from working so they can catch up. See, if they can't get more money, how about just make you have less money and then they'll catch up? Go ahead.
My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish. Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. Then the Yehudims took up stones again to stone him.
Right, and this caused a great problem. I and my Father are one. If something is walking in the same spirit, they are one. See, we can't understand that. We'll read something like that, focus on something like that, but not even understand what that means. To be one, you have to be walking in the same spirit. This is why so many marriages fail. They can't walk as one. That little thing that we used to have on field day, where they tie up the leg, and they said we're gonna have a 3-legged race. The fastest people always lose the 3-legged race. Not once in field day that the fastest people ever win the 3-legged race, because they're gonna tie one leg of each person together, and then they take off. They don't learn to work as a team. So each one of them is trusting their own strength. And they hit the ground every time. Pow! They get up, take 3 more steps. Pow! 4 more steps. Pow! Because each one of them is saying, I'm fast. No, I'm fast. So each one of them is still running independently. But together they suck. And the people who win that 3-legged race are the ones who figure out, all right, middle leg move together. And most of the time you look, man, them the slowest people in our class. How they keep winning the three-legged race? But if you go back, you witness them have a little small conversation with each other. All right, now we got to move at the same time. All right, now you only have full use of one of your legs. The other one we move together. Folk ain't figured that out yet. They married and still think they can control both their legs. And they can't figure out how they keep picking themselves up out the ground. Damn, we fell again. Right. They ain't figured out the middle leg got to move together. When you still think you have independent control of both of them, you're going to hit the ground. Go ahead, Britt.
Verse 32. Yahshua answered them, many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of those works do you stone me?
Which of these works do you stone me for? Let's go to Yohanan chapter 21. Oh, and good works will get you stoned. Don't get it twisted. Go to good above what somebody has allotted you for. See, if they say, all right, he this kind of brother or she this type of sister, as long as you stay within the confines of what they have imagined for you, you fine. But once you achieve something greater than what they have prescribed for you, oh, get ready. Here come trouble.
Wait a minute, I thought you told me you said you was going to get a Camry. That's a BMW.
Well, they had a sale when I got there. Absolutely not. Wait a minute, why the hell are you so bothered that I didn't come back with the Camry?
Because you're a Camry knucker. You are not a BMW knucker.
Wait a minute. Who decided what kind of knucker I was? My Elohim decides what kind of knucker I am. You don't have any control about what kind of knucker I is or I ain't. Who the hell are you to decide that? But now you've gone past the level that they said you're supposed to reach. Now you got problems. Go ahead.
Verse 15. So when they had dined, Yahshua says to Simeon Peter, Simeon, son of Jonas, love you me more than these? He says unto him, Yes, Adonai, you know that I love you. He says unto him, Feed my lambs.
Wait a minute. If you love me, then you're going to take care of my sheep. Wait a minute. Now we go back to the first statement. He says, how you did and treated the least of these is automatically attributed to my relationship with you. But see, that tunnel vision, we'll get into scriptures, and you can tell when folks getting off into that, because they'll constantly quote things like,
let God be the truth and every man a liar.
Well, let me tell you something. You ain't going to be dealing with Elohim. You're going to be dealing with the images that he created in his likeness. Those are men. But see, this gives people the opportunity to say that they can deal with Yahweh personally without dealing with any of his creation. This is how they separate themselves from that. So that way, they don't have to follow no man. They ain't got to listen to no man. They don't have to. They can treat people however they want to treat people, but just deal with Yahweh himself. They don't understand Yahweh at all. Go ahead.
He says to him again the second time, Simeon, son of Jonas, love you me? He says unto him, Yes, Adonai, you know that I love you. He says unto him, Feed my sheep. He says unto him the third time, Simeon, son of Jonas, love you me? Cephas was grieved because he said unto him the third time, love you me?
Now y'all know we the same way. You trying to watch the game? Here come Keisha. You love me? Yeah, I love you. First down. All right. Here come Keisha again. You love me? Hey. Yeah, you know I love you. Third down. Here come Keisha again. Do you love me? I told you now, look here. Did the play off? Now I said I love you. But you're playing with me the wrong way right now. I said I love you. But I'm trying to see if they're gonna make this first down. Can we have this conversation later? So we understand what being grieved is. Let me stop. I gotta go home. Read that.
And he said unto him, Adonai, you know all things. You know that I love you. Yahshua said unto him, feed my sheep.
You heard it, didn't you? You know I love you. You see the game on. Okay. All right. Let's go. 1 Samuel chapter 17. First Samuel chapter 17, and we're going to read verses 32 through 37.
And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, you're not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth.
All right, there has been a line associated. This is as far as you can do. I'm looking at you. Look, man. The Philistine, you seen that dude? My dude got an extra finger, and on each hand, and an extra toe on each foot. Hey, Brad, come on, man. You ever got kicked with 6 toes? Huh? You ever got punched with 5 fingers? That's an extra knuckle, bro. That's an extra knuckle. When he do like this, bro, when he hits you, you're gonna be like, man, I swear he hit me twice. I swear he hit me twice. You know what I'm saying? There was a whole nother knuckle there. You know what I'm saying? So there's already a line that is decided. You ain't supposed to get by here. This is why we have to learn how to count on the Spirit. There are the things that we can do naturally with our own body. And there's the part of when Yahweh adds his Spirit. So it has already been deemed, I'm looking at you, boy. I'm talking about, man, I got soldiers around here, boy. I'm talking about, little boy. Look at little boy. I got them grown men back here, little boy. You ain't gonna be able to do that, little boy. Look at you. Look at you, little stripling. Look here, little boy. I got real manly men. Look at it. I got a dude over here. His arm look like legs. It don't even look like, it look like he walking with the wrong parts of his body. Look at the arms. And he ain't running up against that Philistine. So I'm trying to tell you, little boy, go sit down. Go ahead.
And David said unto Saul, your servant kept his father's sheep. And there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth.
Now, the hireling ain't going to put himself in danger to go fight for no lamb or no sheep. And he ain't running up on no lion. He ain't running up on no bear. Matter of fact, the hireling is just running. He don't know what happened to the sheep because he was back at the house. He'll find out tomorrow when he get back with a good story as to what had happened while he was gone. Go ahead.
And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. Your servant slew both the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he has defiled the armies of the living Elohim. David said, moreover, Yahweh that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear.
Wait a minute. He wasn't trusting on his physical abilities. But what they were counting was his physical abilities. That they saw and perceived that he should be able to do.
I'm looking at your arms. You're not going to be able to wrestle with him. I'm looking at your legs. You're not going to be able to outrun him.
Yeah, but you don't see my spirit. See, that's the part you're not sizing up, see? You can't see the Yahweh in me. That's why you can't see a possible victory. See, this ain't the combine. Oh, you timed how fast I did the 40? You measured how high I jumped. But I'm about to anoint myself with this oil. I want you to measure me again. And when something happened, and I confront this Philistine, even though you see it, it still ain't gonna make sense to you. Because you're still gonna look at it and say, you know, he shouldn't have won. The Philistine had him. He hit him with that sixth knuckle. He shouldn't have got back up. Right. Go ahead.
He will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and Yahweh be with you.
Right. My Elohim is going to deliver me. All right, let's go to Ephesians chapter 4. See, there's going to get to be some places that you are just not physically supposed to survive or win. Point blank. You just ain't supposed to do it. Everything adds up saying that you ain't going to make it. But there's another part of that equation. Ephesians chapter 4, and we're going to read verses 1 through 16.
I, therefore, the prisoner of the Adonai, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as you are called in one hope of your calling.
Now, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. The goat can't allow that to happen. See, the goat has to try to turn one part of the body against another part of the body because the goat is grieved about the success of the body. It grieves the goat. So the goat has to cause some kind of division. Go ahead.
One Adonai, one faith, one baptism, one Elohim and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in you all. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Yahshua. Wherefore he says, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive, and gave gifts unto men. Now that he ascended, what is it but he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers.
Right. Everybody don't have the same gift. Everybody does not have the same purpose. So trying to guess your job by what somebody else does may get you in a deep world of trouble because Yahweh know what he gave you. That ain't got nothing to do with what that other man's job is. Go ahead.
For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahshua, till we all come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahshua, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive, but speaking the truth in love, may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Yahshua, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplies, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, makes increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love.
All right, 16, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplies. So, the goat has to see if it can weaken the joints. there's a whole lot of credit that we given to some individuals because we think that they are wise sheep. And the whole time, they are found goats who there's a reason why they end up or have to be solo. Because they refuse to follow anything. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 34. See, the funny thing about the goat, you look up, and although he got 20 little goat friends, you know he's somewhere by himself. Now, how you get over here? You ain't even with the rest of the disobedient people. No. He got to do his own thing. Ezekiel 34, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel, prophesy and say unto them, Thus says the Adonai Yah unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? Mm-hmm. You eat the fat, and you clothe you with the wool. You kill them that are fed, but you feed not the flock. The diseased have you not strengthened, neither have you healed that which was sick, neither have you bound up that which was broken, neither have you brought again that which was driven away, neither have you sought that which was lost, but the force and the cruelty have you, but with force and with cruelty have you ruled them. And they were scattered because there's no shepherd. And
wait a minute. It says, and they were scattered because there's no shepherd. Well, wait a minute. If there's a shepherd that rules in a certain way, then it's counted as not having a shepherd. Go ahead.
And they were scattered because there's no shepherd. And they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered.
Once they're scattered, now they don't have the protection of the flock. Now they can be made prey. Watch how the predators pick out who they're going to go after. All right, you got to sit down and watch the animal show. All right, so the lion, the wolves, whatever it is, they sitting over there and they watching. You know what I'm saying? You can. This is like the lobby of McDonald's. They looking at the menu. They saying, all right, let me see. I want that combo number 1. You know what I'm saying? And I want extra sauce for the. You know what? Let me get the nugget, the little one. Let me get the little nugget. I want that little nugget right there. All right? So now, boom, they know what the meal is. They have eyed out the menu and they said, I want that little nugget. All right? I know there's a full meal deal over here. But I can get that nugget. I know I can get that nugget. It's going to take me a lot of work to get this full meal deal. But I see that nugget and I'm going to get that nugget. So now, they got to isolate the nugget from the flock. However they can isolate the nugget from the flock, because they plan on feasting on that little nugget over there. All right? So they got to cause confusion. They got to get everybody to try to go everywhere. You get people mad at people who ain't even really mad at the people. They don't know what they angry at. Boom. Somehow, little nugget done got separated. Oh, yeah. Let me get that sauce. Because I'm about to get that nugget. Because that separation is what's needed. Long as that individual can stay with the flock, they are protected. But the predator has to separate them. They have the strength of the flock if they are together. But the predator knows he can't beat the whole flock. He knows that. The predator knows his limitations. He has to scatter them before he can devour them. Go ahead.
You know, Elder, speaking of that, Priest Mikael and I were talking, and with the idiot video where the man put his hand in the lion's mouth. We were talking about what can be done, distraction. And you think about it. Once that lion catches that prey and got him isolated, He don't care what the heck is over there and how big it is. He is distracted by nothing but that. So it ain't where he's going to leave what he got here to go chase something else.
No. Only a man dumb enough to do that. Only man, the smartest and dumbest creature that Yahweh has created. Only a man does it. Only a man halfway tackles something, halfway locks down one thing and get up and go to squirrel, and then get up and go there. Only a dumb man does that. No other animal does that. No other animal. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 6. My sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. Therefore, you shepherds, hear the word of Yahweh. As I live, says the Adonai Yah, surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd, neither did my shepherds search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves and fed not my flock.
All right, so then what the goat has to do is to, even if this situation is not there, the goat has to present the situation so that you won't believe the shepherd and walk off yourself. However, the goat needs to be able to separate you. It has to separate you somehow so that it can make prey out of you. Go ahead.
Therefore, O you shepherds, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus says the Adonai Yah, behold, I am against the shepherds, and I'll require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves any more, for I'll deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them.
Right. We're going to be held accountable for the job that he has given us. So you have to put pride and vanity and all that aside and do the job. Because he's holding you accountable by how you do the job. Go ahead.
For thus says the Adonai Yah, behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out. As a shepherd seeks out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep, and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. And I'll bring them out from the people, and gather them from the countries, and will bring them to their own land, and feed them upon the mountains of Israel by the rivers, and in all the inhabited places of the country.
Right. Israel has become scattered sheep, scattered by the nations. But it was our own disobedience that brought that action upon us. Go ahead.
I will feed them in good pasture, and upon the high mountains of Israel shall their fold be. There shall they lie in a good fold, and in a fat pasture shall they feed upon the mountains of Israel. I will feed my flock, and I'll cause them to lie down, says the Adonai Yah. I will seek that which was lost, and bring them again that which was driven away.
Wait a minute. So now there is something so that there can still be lost sheep, but they still not a goat. This is where things start to get confusing, because you're looking, okay, is that one of the lost sheep, or is that just one of the goats? Because you can keep bringing a goat home every time you turn around, that goat's still gone. Because that's what goats do. See, the goat wasn't lost. The goat is doing exactly what the goat want to do. Go ahead.
And will bind up that which was broken, and will strengthen that which was sick. But I will destroy the fat and the strong. I'll feed them with judgment. As for you, O my flock, thus says the Adonai Yah, behold, I judge between cattle and cattle, between the rams and the he-goats. Seemeth it a small thing unto you to have eaten up the good pasture, but you must tread down with your feet the residue of your pastures, and to have drunk of the deep waters, but you must foul the residue with your feet.
You have no respect for the same place that you feed out of. This pasture feeds you, but you're going to put your foot on it? Go ahead.
And as for my flock, they eat that which you have trodden with your feet, and they drink that which you have fouled with your feet. Therefore, thus says the Adonai Yah unto them, Behold, I, even I, will judge between the fat cattle and between the lean cattle, because you have thrust with side and with shoulder, and pushed all the diseased with your horns, till you have scattered them abroad. Therefore will I save my flock, and they shall no more be a prey, and I'll judge between cattle and cattle. And I'll set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant Dawid. He shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd.
And he has already proven that he has the heart of a shepherd in a kingly body. He automatically had the heart of a shepherd. It was already there when he put his life in danger. So that mindset is in the lineage of the house of David. This is why I say sometimes people, especially brothers, you got to get your savior complex in order. Because you might be out there trying to save something. You got your cape on, got your drawers on the outside of your tights, and you flying. You flying. And you trying to say the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? But you know you got some savior in you. And you trying to save something. And it's trying to die. It's trying to get slayed. And you trying to save it. Yeah. Howl if it hurts you. Go ahead. Give it. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 24. And I, Yahweh, will be their Elohim, and my servant Dawid a prince among them. I, Yahweh, have spoken it. And I'll make with them a covenant of peace, and will cause the evil beast to cease out of the land. And they shall dwell safely in the wilderness, and sleep in the woods. And I'll make them and the places round about my hill a blessing, and I'll cause the shower to come down in his season. There shall be showers of blessing. And the tree of the field shall yield her fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase, and they shall be safe in their land, and shall know that I am Yahweh, when I have broken the bands of their yoke, and delivered them out of the hand of those that serve themselves of them.
Those that serve themselves of them. Oh, no. See, that's something different. See? Sometimes folks will present themselves as friends or brethren or sisters, and you find out that every time you turn around, they need something else from you. No, they serving themselves of you. Every time you around, they got another little sob story. You know, I turned on the TV, and I realized, oh my God, the cable wasn't on. Whatever will I do? You got a little something? You know, I was going to go home, and I looked at the gas tank. I said, oh, my goodness, I ain't got enough gas. You got a little something? I said, every time I see you, you need something. Oh, okay. Right. They serving themselves of you. Go ahead.
Verse 28. And they shall no more be a prey to the heathen, neither shall the beast of the land devour them, but they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid. And I'll raise up for them a plant of renown, and they shall be no more consumed with hunger in the land, neither bear the shame of the heathen any more. Thus shall they know that I, Yahweh their Elohim, am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, says the Adonai Yahweh. And you, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I'm your Elohim, says the Adonai Yah.
All right, let's go to Romans chapter 16. So we know that there's going to be this separation, but how does this take place? Romans chapter 16, and we're going to read verses 17 through 20.
Verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which you have learned, and avoid them.
Okay. I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses. So what we will do, we'll see the individual causing division, but we won't mark that individual. When you mark something, no, I'm telling you, this is what this is. It is a purposely uttered statement to cause division, but then we won't address it. We'll let that divider stay hidden, which allows the divider to do more division secretly. And we've seen it where somebody has operated in slick deception for years plus. Soon as you discover the deception, what they do? Let's just how do we just get to the end of this? Wait a minute. Now we want it to be over. How do we just get past this? Wait, hold on. What about the year and a half in slickness that's been moved? Now that it's out in the open, now we want to stop it? Go ahead.
For they that are such serve not our Adonai Yahshua HaMashiach, but their own bellies. And by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple.
Now, the simple doesn't necessarily mean that those people are slow. Simple means that they have decided that they want to live their life in an easy way. So what happens is they just don't deal with other things. And they're getting devoured because of it. Well, I just don't want to deal with it. I know James and them evil. They be doing all that stuff. I just don't want to fool with none of that. I just let them do what they're going to do. All right, here's the problem. What James is doing that's your land though. That's he doing the evil. You see what it mailbox? That's your name. Look at the name on the mailbox. Ain't that your name? Because I thought I knew your name. That's your name right there, right? Right. So the evil that they're doing though, they're using your property to do it. But you saying you just don't want food with that. No. You have to understand. Now see, your Elohim gonna hold you accountable for what happened at the mailbox that got your name on it. You understand? See, everybody want their name on the mailbox. But understand now, he gonna hold you accountable to the stuff that happened at the house that got your name on the mailbox. You don't get to say, well, you know what, I just don't feel like dealing with that. I just don't feel, is that your property? Is that yours? Or you gonna answer for that one? I don't care what you think. Go ahead.
For your obedience is come abroad unto all men. I am glad therefore on your behalf. But yet I would have you wise unto that which is good and simple concerning evil.
See, we simple concerning the wrong things. See, it wasn't that they slow. It wasn't that they didn't know. No, they just made a decision. These things I don't want to deal with. And Yahweh gonna make a decision too. But you're not gonna like it. Go ahead.
And the Elohim of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly. The grace of our Adonai Yahshua HaMashiach be with you. Amen.
All right. Let's go to Acts chapter 20. Acts chapter 20, and let's start that at verse 26.
Wherefore I take you to record this day, that I am pure from the blood of all men. For I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of Elohim. Take heed therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock over the which the Holy Spirit has made you overseers, to feed the church of Elohim, which he has purchased with his own blood. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock.
After my departure, I know that grievous wolves shall enter in among you. Go ahead.
Also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things, to draw away disciples after them.
Right. What do you think all of those side speeches are about? This is why the conversation can't be had in the open amongst all the men. It has to be had separately to draw aside disciples after themselves. Go ahead.
Therefore watch and remember that by the space of 3 years I cease not to warn everyone night and day with tears. And now, brethren, I commend you to Elohim and to the word of his grace, which is able to build you up and to give you an inheritance among all them which are sanctified. I have coveted no man's silver or gold or apparel. Yea, you yourselves know that these hands have ministered unto my necessities and to them that were with me.
Wait a minute. You yourself know that these hands have ministered unto my necessities. He said, I didn't sit around and not work. Go ahead.
I have showed you all things, how that so laboring you ought to support the weak, and to remember the words of the Adonai Yahshua, how he said, it is more blessed to give than to receive.
Right, don't get that twisted. The strong ought to support the weak. The strong ought not to support the lazy. The strong ought not to support those who have an overblown ego.
You know, I work, but I mean, I have certain standards.
What? What?
You know, I'll do this, but I'm not going to do that over there.
Oh, hell, I ain't supporting that. Because let me tell you something. If mine hungry, I'm going to do what I got to do to feed them. Let me tell you something. They said, look here, we got our floors to be swept. Where the broom at? How much they pay? Well, good. I got enough time. I can get in here. I can sweep this floor. I can get this money, and I can go ahead and take that. And I have me, something to drop home to the little chicks when they time to eat. See, I can drop some food in their mouth. No. The strong ain't supposed to bear the infirmities of those that decided, unless I'm this or that, I ain't even leaving the house. Well, you're going to be one hungry knuckle. And I'm going to tell you, I'm eating over here. You know what I'm talking about? And you can come and you can try to make me feel bad.
Is that gravy? You're damn right, this is gravy. Matter of fact, I think I dropped some in my beer. You want some? Well, go get you some. I help you if you're helping yourself. See, I had to develop this because of the numerous times that we have had grievous wolves that claimed they were relocating to be a part of the body. And the whole time they were trying to use the body to support their move. And no matter how much you helped them, it was never enough. Go ahead, Pri.
And when he had thus spoken, he kneeled down and prayed with them all. And they all wept sore and fell on Saul's neck and kissed him, sorrowing most of all for the words which he spake, that they should see his face no more. And they accompanied him onto the ship.
All right. Did you finish that?
Yes, sir.
All right. In Proverbs 22:10, it says, cast out the scorner, and contention shall go out. Yea, strife and reproach shall cease. Remember, before anyone can be singled out, there has to be some kind of disturbance. We watch the same things in the movie. Right before they get ready to do something, they said, all right, I got to go in here, and we're going to either go and steal that, or we got to go harm this. But I need a distraction. Okay, so now they got an accomplice who is going to cause the distraction. So while everybody is focusing on this, we're going to make that over there happen. Because they're going to be so busy looking at the distraction, they are not going to even realize that this is missing until we long gone. Okay, let's go to Matthew chapter 13. You can think what you want to think, but I tell you what, the wolf pack a group of geniuses. I mean a group of murderous geniuses. It may look like the wolves are just running wild and they just a bunch of fools, and everything they're doing is absolutely calculated. You think you getting away and you going exactly where the wolves want you to go. They are feeding you. When you running, they are jogging. They cutting off. They look like they going a whole nother way. It look like these dudes over here don't even look like they in the chase. Hey, where they going? Because see, they finna go all the way out and come back in and drive you back this way. Oh no, they have strategy. See, predators have strategy. Okay, hold on. Predators have strategy. Sheep have to stop just reacting. Predators have already practiced what they're going to do, when they're going to implement it, and who their target is. Sheep have to stop just reacting. Go ahead, Praise.
Matthew chapter 13 and verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, did not you sow good seed in your field? From whence then has it tares? He said unto them, An enemy has done this. The servant said unto him, Will you then that we go and gather them up? But he said, No, lest while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them.
Now, what is the whole issue here? When you look at what's happening, all right, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. Verse 24. Verse 25, but while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. Now, here's the problem. They got planted at the same time. Some people walk in the door with their tare. It was the tare that told them about the word. And because they growing together, the tare is wrapping itself around the real fruit. It's wrapping it around. Oh, we friends. We go everywhere together. Wrapping itself around. Oh no, this is my partner. Wrapping itself around. It was always a tare. It didn't turn into a tare. It was a tare from day one. Now it is so wrapped around this good piece of fruit. Man, how do I separate that without killing the good fruit? We had a guy that told us, remember, I know you're thinking about it.
Yes, sir.
I know you're thinking about it. We had a guy that used to go here and he said, because folks were saying about, we had a real good brothers meeting, and brother was talking about being a manager, and this guy told us, straight up, he was allowed to be a manager, and the guy told him, because you're an a-hole, and we need an a-hole for this job. And the guy proved that was exactly what he was. He said, when I go to a place, I intertwine myself in all the dealings of that place, so I make it very difficult for them to get rid of me. Go ahead, brother.
You forget something.
Go ahead.
On the beginning of this journey, he was the first one to say, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
So what'd you say? Sometimes the tear is always right there with you in the beginning.
The first one to start this congregation, or came with me when I started, was the individual that I'm talking about. He was here for kids. He was waiting on kids. Right. Off his two left shoes. Right. Go ahead.
Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather you together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn.
Right. See, the terror figured, I'm gonna wrap myself around this brother so much, it's gonna be hard for him to get rid of me. What they don't know, when you anoint yourself with that oil, it make you slippery. And I slid right up out of that tear. The tear had done said, remember the tear said, we were gonna put the camera up. Said, no, man, you gonna look so small if you move the camera. Let me tell you what the tear did. The tear wanted to keep the camera down, because about 3 minutes before the end of every class, the tear would get up and walk in front of the camera so you'd see his face. It took a brother at home to say, hey, man, let me ask you a question. Why every time 3 minutes before the end of class, I see this knuckle face? I said, it used to dawn on me, why did knuckle get up and have to go to the media room and check something every time? So, and it was a mess when we went on and called it out. So, I said, all right, let's see if he get up 3 minutes. I said, bam, yep, that's what he did. He get up. It was almost like, let us hear the conclusion of this matter. His faith, he get up, and he just look into the camera. I said, okay. And the jig was up, so we let him do it a few times, just so we can prove it wasn't just a thing, all right? So then, he got ready to do it again. I said, let us hear the conclusion of this matter. He got up. I said, they don't need no help back there. Sit back down. Oh, he was done. Damn it, they done found out I'm a grievous wolf. Damn it. Oh, that was the beginning of the end right there. Okay, all right. Where you at, brother? Jump to 36.
Then Yahshua sent the multitude away and went into the house. And his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, he that sows the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil.
So then the devil come and implant his children right next to you at the same state and at the growth level of you, and they want you to become friends with them. Knowing that it's going to take some surgery to separate you from your little friendly tear. Got you. Right. The devil see your growth. He said, all right, boom, let me put one of my children in there. Right. You think the devil don't send his kids to church? Hey, man, you better hurry up. You're going to be late. Suck as hell at that gate. You know what I'm talking about? Hey. Right. Okay, go ahead.
The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burnt in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend.
All things that offend shall be gathered out of his kingdom. He's just making you practice. Go ahead.
And them which do lawlessness, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who has ears to hear, let him hear.
Right. Who has ears to hear, let him hear. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 16. See, the goat's problem is not hearing. The goat's problem is adhering. He hear, he just don't adhere.
Leviticus chapter 16 and verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they offered before Yahweh and died. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Speak unto Aaron your brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he die not.
Right. Don't come in here. This ain't no regular situation. You need to make sure that the holy place is something that is sanctified and separated. Don't come in here all the time. All right? And if you come in here, you're going to approach unto me. You need to approach unto me right. Keep reading.
For I'll appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat.
Don't. A lot of times people, I'm not one of those guys who pray like 4 times a day and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people, they do that. And if that works for them, I'm you got to do what works for you. Mm-hmm. But I'm not one of those that, I need to call my Elohim to tell him what time it is. You know what? Yahweh is 4:17. Hey, hold on, bro. Hold on. And unless I got something of substance, I'm not calling my Elohim. Now I might say, all right, now I've been meditating on this about 2 days. Now it's time for me to, hit my knees on this one. All right? He says, don't come at all times. This ain't no regular place. Okay? You need to know that this little sectioned off place right here, this ain't normal. Go ahead.
Thus shall Aaron come into the holy place with a young bullock for a sin offering.
Wait a minute, you ain't got nothing with you? Oh, you just came to hang out? You tell me you ain't bring nothing? But you came to see me. Keep reading.
And a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on the holy linen coat.
Wait a minute, how you dress? You came in here how? You came to see me? Go ahead.
And he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh. And shall be girded with a linen girdle. And with the linen mitre shall he be attired.
Boy, did you come in here without your head covered? Boy, did you come to see me without your head covered? Tell him that he don't do this lest he die. You better tell him. You better warn him from it. You better tell him. Okay. Go ahead.
These are holy garments.
These are holy garments. Boy, you better look holy when you come see me. You better understand that you're seeing something holy. You're coming to see something holy. You better look holy when you come to see something holy. When you went to see something holy, didn't you dress holy? When you went to see something holy, didn't you dress holy? All right. When you went to a basketball game, you put on your basketball uniform, didn't you? When you went to the football game, you put on your jersey. Read, man.
Therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put them on. And he shall take of the congregation of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. And Aaron shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and to make an atonement for himself and for his house. And he shall take the 2 goats, and present them before Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for Yahweh, and the other lot for the scapegoat. And Aaron shall bring the goat upon which Yahweh's lot fell, and offer him for a sin offering.
The goat shall be offered for a sin offering. Go ahead.
But the goat, on which the lot fell to be the scapegoat, shall be presented alive before Yahweh, to make an atonement with him, and to let him go for a scapegoat into the wilderness.
So 1 goat is for a sin offering. The other goat, the sins of the children of Israel is placed on the goat. So the goat carries lawlessness. Interesting. And every last one of their little evil little rituals, why you think you keep seeing the goat? He's a sin carrier. This is what he does. And then we getting into our arguments. I think LeBron's the GOAT. No, I think Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Right. So now we want to be the GOAT. So now we just want to be the GOAT. I'm the GOAT of UPS. I'm the GOAT. Okay. Now we got a little baby goat. Okay. Go ahead.
And Aaron shall bring the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself.
You do understand that Lucifer absolutely knows what the goat does, right? He didn't just pick the goat just to be picking a goat. He knows the purpose of the goat. Okay, go ahead.
And he shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before Yahweh, and his hands full of sweet incense beaten small, and bring it within the veil. And he shall put the incense upon the fire before Yahweh, and the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony, that he die not. And he shall take of the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it with his fingers upon the mercy seat eastward, and before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times.
Jump to verse 21.
And Aaron shall lay both his hands upon the head of the live goat, and confess over him all the lawlessness of the children of Israel.
All the lawlessness of the children of Israel is laid on the head of the live goat. Go ahead.
And all their transgressions and all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat.
No. Putting the sins on the goat head? What? Boy, Lucifer know how to pick his logo, don't he? He know how to put, boy, and we just think we just doing some stuff. Go ahead.
And shall send him away by the hand of a fit man into the wilderness.
No, wait a minute. So the goat just roaming free in the wilderness, carrying sin. Well, look at that. Go ahead.
You know, if you look at this, he says, by the hand of a fit man. The goat is so disobedient, you got to be strong enough to carry him out.
Hey, bro, if you ain't got your stuff together, that goat gonna, that goat gonna show you something. But, brother, it always has to be a fit man to throw out a goat. Read.
And the goat shall bear upon him.
Yeah.
And the goat shall bear upon him all their lawlessness unto a land not inhabited. And he shall let go the goat into the wilderness.
That's what goats need to be. See, our problem is we trying to domesticate the goat. You think you can talk the goat into being a lamb. You think you can talk to the goat. Well, if I talk to the goat gonna realize that this is the truth, and then the goat gonna calm down. Now, man, the goat need to take the sin and go in the woods. Because that's what goats do. But you keep trying to figure out how you can get the goat to sit calmly in your living room. Go ahead.
And Aaron shall come into the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall put off the linen garments, which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there.
All right, let's go to Mark chapter 6. See, remember now, the adversary of the devil knows this word inside and out. Remember now, he going at Yahshua, didn't it say? Wait a minute, he mentioning straight word there. Didn't it say such and such? He know what it say. Now how he know all this about the book? You think he didn't know what the goat was? If he can tell Yahshua what was written concerning him, he didn't just know the word, he knew the word that had something to do with Yahshua. No, he know that. So his little goat counterparts, it's not that they don't know the word. They know enough to be dangerous. Mark chapter 6, and let's read verses 1 through 11.
And he went out from thence and came into his own country, and his disciples followed him. And when the Shabbat day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue. And many hearing him were astonished, saying, from whence has this man these things? And what wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Miriam, the brother of Jacob and Joseph, and of Yehuda and Simeon? Are not his sisters here with us? And they were offended at him.
Now check this out. They recognize that he has done something great. But they're offended because they don't understand how he's done something great. They are offended because of what he has been able to do, thereby proving that they are not of the sheep. Why are you offended at what Yahweh has given somebody else? No. That's the job of a goat. Why are you offended? How does that offend you? Interesting. And it says, is not this the carpenter's son? A carpenter, the son of Miriam, brother of Jacob. Now, wait a minute. Now, Mary is a perpetual virgin. But there's a lot of damn children. There's a lot of damn children. But somehow she's still a virgin. I tell you. Damn. That's pretty good, huh? That's pretty good, huh? That's pretty good. I don't, you know what? Just read, brother. I'm not even going to say something ain't happening right up in here right now. Let me just read. I don't need to say that.
But Yahshua said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own country and among his own kin and in his own house.
In his own house, he going to have the biggest problem. Because they ain't going to recognize you as all that. You just that dude. You know? Your gifts ain't all that special. We all got gifts. Go ahead, brother. You finish that?
And he could there do no mighty work.
He couldn't do no mighty work because they said, look here, man. We're not accepting you. Why? Because we have already attributed a level to you, and you are exceeding the level that we have allotted for you, and nothing above that level will be accepted by you. Sometimes you got to go be great somewhere else. You can't be great around people who know you the most. They're not already attributed as far as you're going to go. Look here. Let me tell you something. I'll wipe your little snotty nose. You understand what I'm saying? When you crapped on yourself, I was the one that wiped it. You can come in here and try to tell me something about God? As far as you going with them, you ain't getting nowhere. You're going to be great somewhere else. You ain't going to be great at 2418 Wichita Drive. I can tell you that. You're going to be great somewhere else. You ain't going to be great there. Go ahead.
Save that he laid his hands upon a few sick folk and healed them. And he marveled because of their unbelief, and he went round about the villages teaching. And he called unto him the 12, and began to send them forth by 2 and 2, and gave them power over unclean spirits, and commanded them that they should take nothing for their journey, save a staff only, no scrip, no bread, no money in their purse. But be shod with sandals, and not put on 2 coats. And he said unto them, in what place soever you enter into an house, therefore abide till you depart from that place. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear you, when you depart thence, shake off the dust under your feet for a testimony against them. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city.
Okay. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear you, when you depart from there, shake off the dust under your feet for a testimony against them. They don't even understand that judgment is coming to them by how they dealt with you. This is why sometimes to protect somebody, you need to stay away from them. They saying, you don't have no love for me no more. No. It's because I have love for you. That I need to put some distance. See, I know you don't think much of me. I know I'm poor, but my God rich. And I know I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't connect full like I used to, but my God don't miss when he swingeth. When he swingeth, he hitteth what he swingeth at. So I'm trying to protect you because I got a protector that is absolutely magnifical. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I'm trying to protect you because he awfully protective. You understand? So he's a jealous Elohim, and he don't like when somebody mistreats something that loves him. So to protect you, I need to put some distance in between us. Okay. Go ahead, bro.
That was it for Mark.
That was it. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 1. Deuteronomy chapter 1, and let's start that at verse 19.
Verse 19. And when he departed from Horeb, he went through all that great and terrible wilderness, which you saw by the way of the mountain of the Amorites, as Yahweh our Elohim commanded us. And we came to Kadesh Barnea. And I said unto you, you are come onto the mountain of the Amorites, which Yahweh our Elohim does give unto us. Behold, Yahweh your Elohim has set the land before you. Go up and possess it, as Yahweh Elohim of your fathers has said unto you. Fear not, neither be discouraged. And you came near unto me, every one of you, and said, we will send men before us, and they shall search us out the land, and bring us word again by what way we must go up, and into what cities we shall come.
All right, we're going to send men by which way we shall go up. Now, they said the searching was for one thing. Keep going.
And the saying pleased me well. And I took 12 men of you, one of a tribe. And they turned and went up into the mountain, and came into the valley of Eshcol, and searched it out. And they took of the fruit of the land in their hands, and brought it down unto us, and brought us word again, and said, it is a good land which Yahweh our Elohim does give us. Notwithstanding, you would not go up, but rebelled against the commandment of Yahweh your Elohim. And you murmured in your tents, and said, because Yahweh hated us, he has brought us forth out of the land of Egypt, to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites to destroy us.
It's amazing how much fire that tongue kindleth. Go ahead.
Whither shall we go up? Our brethren have discouraged our heart, saying,
the brethren have discouraged our heart. Wait a minute now. It's goats among those sheep. They have discouraged their heart, all while telling them how great the land is. Now see, you got to have a certain skill set to be able to say something good and still be saying bad at the same time. Wow, that's forked tonguish. Go ahead.
But you know, Elder, it also goes to show sometimes it's not best for you to see the road ahead.
Right.
Because he said, go up and take it. But
he
now
sure
we want to go look first.
Right. But you see how the con game was.
Well, you know, we're going to go just to see which way we should go. You see what I'm saying? That's all we're going to say.
Right, you saw the way, all right. See, sometimes you go up on something fast enough before the fear set in. Go ahead.
The people is greater and taller than we.
There you go. See, you wouldn't never saw that till you were there. And sometimes, you know, you can't get to the championship fight and then realize, that's a big knuckle. Ding! All right, hey, it's time to go. Time to go. It's time to go. But see, the more you study, the more afraid you get. Go ahead.
The cities are great and walled up to heaven. And moreover, we have seen the sons of the Anakims there. Then I said unto you, dread not, neither be afraid of them. But Yahweh your Elohim, which goes before you, he shall fight for you according to all that he did for you in Egypt before your eyes. And in the wilderness, where you have seen how Yahweh your Elohim bear you, as a man does bear his son, in all the way that you went, until you came into this place. Yet in this thing you did not believe Yahweh your Elohim, who went in the way before you.
Now, if belief was accounted unto Abraham as righteousness, what does unbelief get you?
Righteousness.
Okay, go ahead.
Who went in the way before you, to search you out a place to pitch your tents in fire by night, to show you by what way you should go, and in a cloud by day. And Yahweh heard the voice of your words, and was angry, and sware, saying, surely there shall not one of these men of this evil generation see that good land which I swear to give unto your fathers.
Wait a minute, surely there shall not one of these men of this evil generation. Generation. Say everything here, it ain't going. Go ahead.
Save Caleb the son of Yephani, he shall see it, and to him will I give the land that he does trodden upon, and to his children, because he has wholly followed Yahweh.
Because he has wholly followed Yahweh. Let's go to Numbers chapter 14. See, it matters when you decide to follow Yahweh. So you can't just do this how you want them, when you want them. Yahweh said, I take out the trash. Well, I don't feel like, the game was on. I mean, I took it out. As a matter of fact, I just took it out. The problem is, the trash man came yesterday. See, I'd already called the trash man. I told the trash man come by here, and I told you to take out the trash. See, that was a special something I had done worked out with the trash man. I done gave him money to come by at that time of night. And I trusted that you would put the trash on the street like I asked you. But I did put the trash on the street. Not in time. Not when I asked you. Therefore, you didn't put the trash out. Numbers chapter 14, let's read verses 36 through 45.
And the men which Moshe sent to search the land, who returned and made all the congregation to murmur against him by bringing up a slander upon the land, even those men that did bring up the evil report upon the land, died by the plague before Yahweh. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Yephani, which were of the men that went to search the land, lived still. And Moshe told these sayings unto all the children of Israel, and the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning, and gat them up into the top of the mountain, saying, Lo, we be here, and will go up onto the place which Yahweh has promised, for we have sinned.
Right. Now, after they have been disobedient, now they say, I will go. Okay, go ahead.
And Moshe said, Wherefore now do you transgress the commandment of Yahweh?
No, you don't understand. Now you done already been disobedient. The job is off. Now, we're going to be so arrogant and vain, we're going to put the job back on. Like we the boss. Go ahead.
But it shall not prosper. Go not up, for Yahweh is not among you, that you be not smitten before your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you are turned away from Yahweh, therefore Yahweh will not be with you. But they presume to go up onto the hilltop.
They presume to go up to the hilltop. You have denied Yahweh. Yahweh has denied you. He is not with you. Don't go up. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of Yahweh and Moshe departed not out of the camp.
So they going on their own. See? But that's what goats do. Moshe and the ark still stay in its place. But the goat said, no, we can do it. Go ahead.
Then the Amalekites came down, and the Canaanites which dwelt in that hill, and smote them, and discomfited them, even unto Hormah.
Right. You don't get to decide later that I'll do the stuff that you told me to do before. No. He's already found somebody to fulfill that job. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10. So that job is gone. So we want, hindsight is always 20/20. I always know what I should have did when I didn't do it. Hell, my aftersight is amazing. Hell, I can always say, you know what? Every person who had an accident said, damn, if I'd have turned left. Hey, everybody said, hell, I wouldn't have been in an accident. Don't try to tell me about your hindsight and how good it is now. Hell, nobody want to hear about that. You know, I should have. You know, I would have. If I could have. Right. Hebrews chapter 10, and let's read verses 19 through 29.
Having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into the holiest by the blood of Yahshua, by a new and living way, which he has consecrated for us, through the veil, that is to say, his flesh, and having an high priest over the house of Elohim. Let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. And let us consider one another to provoke on to love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together.
And that's what we do when we drop poison among one another. We are forsaking the assembling of ourselves together. But then when we don't have it no more, then we sitting at home by ourselves sad. See, once we don't have it, then we realize how great something was. Here come that hindsight. Go ahead.
As the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. For if we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remains no more sacrifice for sins.
Wait a minute. See, now we're dealing with goatish qualities. You know, we're not talking about a lamb that's gone astray. We're now talking about we are making some decisions with knowledge. Go ahead.
But a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. He that despised Moshe's law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much more sorer punishment, suppose you, shall we be thought worthy, who has trodden underfoot the Son of Elohim, and has counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing, and has done despite unto the Spirit of grace.
Wait a minute. Of how much sore punishment, suppose you, shall he be thought worthy, who has trodden under the foot the Son of Elohim, understood the truth, got baptized in the truth, took a new name, walked, and then stepped on everything that helped them be born? How much sore punishment, suppose you, shall he be thought worthy of? Go ahead.
That was it.
That's a question that we all have to ask ourselves. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 6. See, judgment is about more than just a whole bunch of laws. Oh, no. He's got a much more complex scale than just law. No, his scale is absolutely intricately designed for each individual because he knows how long you had the law. He knows what you were taught. He knows what you were given. You may look at a lesser person walk right into those gates, but lesser according to who? According to your eyes. And you get stopped at the gate. You know there's issues when you get stopped at the gate. You get stopped at the gate, wait a minute, we got to check your credentials. Yeah, but I just watched little John boy just walk right in the gate. Yeah, but you ain't him. See, I know what he was given and I know what work he did. I know what you were given and I'm looking at the work you did based on what you were given. We're stopping you at the gate. We need to check your credentials. Go ahead, Bree.
Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 1. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Yahshua, let us go on to perfection, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works and of faith towards Elohim, of the doctrine of baptism and of laying on of hands and of resurrection of the dead and of eternal judgment. And this will we do, if Elohim permit, for it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted of the heavenly gift and were made partakers of the Holy Spirit.
For it is impossible for those who were once enlightened. They didn't just hear the word. No. They were enlightened, have tasted of the heavenly gift, were made partakers of the Holy Spirit. He gave you a seat. Go ahead.
and have tasted the good word of Elohim and the powers of the world to come. If they shall fall away, to renew them again into repentance, seeing they crucified to themselves the Son of Elohim afresh.
Right. Wait a minute. So they didn't understand when they accepted all of those things, when they accepted deceit and then stepped on it, they didn't understand that they were stepping on their salvation. Go ahead.
And put him to an open shame.
They didn't understand they were stepping on him. Go ahead.
For the earth which drinks in the rain that comes oft upon it, and brings forth herbs meet for them by whom it is dressed, receives blessings from Elohim. But that which bears thorns and briars is rejected, and is near unto cursing, whose end is to be burnt.
Right. But that which bears thorns and briars is rejected. That means it's removed. And is near unto cursing, whose end is to be burned in the fire. Let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to John chapter 15. John in chapter 15, and we're going to read verses 15 through 25.
Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knows not what his master does. But I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you.
For all things I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. But wait a minute, some of that stuff causes division itself. Because sometimes you deliver something unto somebody and they ain't ready, they mind and spirit is not ready to receive that. Yourself start talking about a dream. He said, well, hold on, man. It's me and your mother and your brothers bow down to you. Hold on, man. What is this dream you done dream? Yeah. Sometimes you can tell somebody something and they're not ready to receive that. He said, henceforth, I've told you all those things, right? And some of those people wanted to kill him for those very things. Go ahead.
You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you.
Right. That's our biggest mistake. We keep talking about we found God. And we think we chose the seat that we sitting in. We thought it was, so we so damn smart. We so smart. We think,
I was just going through the internet with my smart self. And I saw something and I said, click. And then I was like, you know what? I did that, didn't I?
we think it was us. We think we chose the seat that we sitting in. Yahweh will use everything, including your own vanity. He'll use your anger to bring you in here. He'll use your vanity. Right. But we still think it was us. No. I chose you. He said, I chose you. You ain't choose me. First of all, you ain't got no power to choose. How can you choose something that has so much more understanding than you? It's got to give you enough understanding before you even understand what choice means. The baby may whine for you, but it doesn't have the power to choose you. You have to take care of the baby. Go ahead.
And ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. These things I command you, that you love one another.
Wait a minute. Now, in the very beginning, when did we see you and we were mean unto you? We went not unto you. When were you hungry and we didn't feed you? When? Okay. Go ahead.
If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world.
So this is why we can't go around and stay, at a point where it causes us to get down. You know that as you follow the path that Yahweh has laid out for us, that we still gonna run into hatred. You gotta know that this is just part of the path.
and not take it personal.
All these people got problems against me. It's always me.
I'd have done that. I'd have been hung myself. With a designer rope. Read.
If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you.
Right, the world hates you. Let me tell you something. The world don't like nothing that shine a light on it. You got to understand that you just walking in culture shines a light on the world. The world don't like nothing that do that. So the question is, do you want to be loved or do you want to be liked? Because, you know, sometimes people love what they don't like. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, I know everybody in my house love me. They don't always like me, though. Hey. Hey. Sometimes they be like, damn, here he come. Hey, I know they don't always like me, but I know they love me, though. But I love, and see, I'd rather be loved. You understand? Because I know I'm not going to win the light game. I already know that the odds are not in my favor to win the light game. So I'm going to stay in the love column. I take love for 200, please. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stay. That's my category. Go ahead and get, I need everything out that category before I go somewhere else. Because when it comes down to certain jobs and certain responsibilities, damn it, that's got to be done. And you're just not going to keep ending up in the light column when you got to do that job. Go ahead, Brady.
Remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his master. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you.
Wait a minute, you got to deal with that inside out then. That means you got to deal with that in the house, and then when you go out in the street, you're going to have the same problem. Oh, I'm sorry. You done took a job from Yahweh? Well, all right, well, they hated Yahshua. Well, guess what you're going to get. Now, you're going to get some that absolutely love you. You're going to get them sheep that hear you. But you're going to get them goats, and they want your head. Matter of fact, them goats want to shave you and take your wool. They want you to be the hairless next time you come down on this corner. Go ahead.
If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me.
All these things that they do, they're going to do it because of me. You need to know that so you don't take it personal. See, if you don't understand that, you know, I remember asking my elders, I finally got the answer to that question. How do you deal with all this betrayal from people you taught? There it is. You can't take it personal. Know that they hate you because they hate him. It's not about you. It's about the hatred that they have for him. That they will not have him reign over them. And as long as you keep that, the personal part won't hit you. And you can keep on going on your path to doing the job that he has sent you to do. Go ahead.
If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin.
Wait a minute. Keep going.
But now they have no cloak for their sin.
They have no covering for their sin. So the goat doesn't have any covering because the goat is professing how intelligent they are. Your very profession of how much you know is the reason why you don't have a covering for your sin. You destroyed your own covering by what came out of your mouth. Right. Read.
He that hates me hates my Father also.
He that hates me hates my Father. Why? Because I'm going to speak my Father's word. So you're going to hate me, you're going to hate Yahshua, you're going to hate Yahweh, you're going to hate all of us. You're going to think you love Yahweh and love Yahshua. But I'm going to say the words and you're going to say, you know what, I don't like that. But it's going to be hard to say I don't like Yahweh and I don't like Yahshua. But it's easy to say, I can't stand something. The difference is My Father and his Son know the difference. Now, see, he know what you're really saying. No. That's why he said, look, don't worry about it. It's not me. It's not you that they have a problem with. It's me. Why you think he done told his servants that several times? No. It's not. I know you there, and they coming against you. No, this me, man. This me. You've been made to bear the reproach of those who hate me. They hate his way. They hate his culture. So they have to hate the people who are pushing that culture. It's hard to go and speak to the wings of the wind, and say how much you hate Yahweh. Because you can't find a tangible form of him to utter that hate to. But a servant of his is a tangible form that you can express your hate to. But he know the difference. Go ahead.
If I had not done among them the works which no other man did, they had not had sin. But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father. But this comes to pass, that the word might be fulfilled that is written in their law. They hated me without a cause.
They hated me without a cause. They may think their cause is just. They may think that they have a cause that's going to hold weight. But at the end of the day, he's going to let them know that your cause was not just, and you're going to go into judgment for it. So one of the hardest things that we're going to have to do in this walk is to discern between lost sheep and found goats. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.